Development Cell. I'm grateful for the unwavering support and guidance of our esteemed principal, whose leadership has made this event possible. I'm delighted to extend a warm welcome to our esteemed mentors, Chairman Mr. Balasaheb Shinde and Secretary Mr. Sudarshan Dada Shinde of Shikshan Prasarak Sanstha. Your guidance and wisdom have been instrumental in shaping this conference into the platform for the interdisciplinary research exchange. To all the participants, I am express my heartfelt gratitude for your overwhelming response and participation. It is your enthusiasm and commitment that have made this conference a reality. I invite everyone to engage these meaningful discussions, share knowledge, and enrich each other's perspectives as we embark on this journey of bridging boundaries. Ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed with the engaging discussions and presentation lined up for this national conference, I would like to extend a warm welcome to our esteemed chief guest for today's inaugural function, Professor Dr. D.T. Shirke sir, the Vice-Chancellor of Shivaji University, Kolhapur. We are honored to have a Professor Shirke with us today, and we look forward to his valuable insights and guidance as we explore the realms of multidisciplinary research in science, commerce, and humanities. He has around 30 years of teaching and 33 years of research experience. He has extensively published his almost 75 plus national and international research publications. To his credits, he has completed 5 research projects funded by the various national funding agencies. His substantial academic and administrative contribution, he has awarded as the best teacher by the Shivaji University Kolhapur in 2011. He has consistently shown his talent for fetching various awards and fellowships. As a student, he is a recipient of the state government scholarship, national merit scholarship, and he was a university ranker both in UG and PG classes in the sciences. He is an elected member of International Statistical Institute, Netherlands, and it is also the member of a many professional organization in the statistics. Let us join together in extending a heartfelt welcome to Professor D.T. Shirke sir and express our gratitude for gracing us with the presence of his significant event. Thank you and enjoy the conference.
I would like to request Professor Dr. D.T. Shirke sir, Vice Chancellor, Shivaji University, Kolhapur, to deliver his valuable insights in this session.
Very good morning to all of you. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Shikshan Prasarak Sanstha's Padmabhushan Vasantraodada Patil Mahavidyalaya is organizing a one-day national conference in a virtual mode on bridging boundaries, multidisciplinary research in science, commerce, and humanities. On the occasion of this inaugural ceremony of this conference, we have the keynote speaker. I hope keynote speaker had joined, Dr. Anna George from Goa. Other esteemed invited speakers, Dr. Milind Nawad from New Delhi and Dr. Dilip Chavan from Nanded, may be joining soon to this particular platform. Principal of this college, Dr. M.K. Patil. I could see Principal Dr. Ashok Babar also, former principal of this college. Convener of this particular conference, Dr. N.P. Shinde. Faculty members of Padmabhushan Vasantraodada Patil Mahavidyalaya. Research scholars who are joining to this particular conference, virtual conference, and student friends. Let me congratulate Dr. M.K. Patil and his entire team of faculty members for organizing a conference to include all the faculties together. Usually, the conferences used to be on a very typical theme, and people used to organize conference. Still, they used to organize conference on a very typical and special theme, where every group only from the specialization comes together and then have deliberations on that particular topic. But this conference is different, and I understand that it has got, as rightly said by one of the speakers, that it has got a background of National Education Policy 2020. National Education Policy demands uh, education in interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary manner. So it invites, you can say, inclusion of all disciplines together, and they should come together and discuss the things. It is hard fact that no research can be done in isolation. Even though someone thinks that I'm doing on my own, I think that is misunderstanding. He or she must be taking an account of other disciplines also, but we fail to acknowledge that kind of disciplinary kind of thing in our research. So let's take a very simple example just to elaborate on why multidisciplinary conferences are very much essential in this era, and why people are now organizing this kind of conference. Let's think about a very hot topic, and in this summer it will become still hotter. That is a climate change. Now, when um, a, any discussion on climate change starts, we think that it is a topic of a person who is engaged in research in environmental science, because climate is something to do with the environment, something like that. But slowly, if you look at the literature available in various forms, and then you will come to know that a person who is not directly involved, but a person from botany will try to assess the impact of climate change on the crops. He will start, because the yield that was possible maybe before 30 years before or 40 years before, and the yield that is now the farmers are getting, what kind of impact it has made, whether climate change has made a positive or negative impact. Naturally, he will come to the conclusion that there is some adverse impact of climate change on the crop pattern as well as the yield of crops. Same is the case of the zoologist. The zoologist will try to assess and do a kind of research on impact of climate change on animals, including human being, of course. So he or she will look from that particular dimension. A geologist would be interested to know that how the groundwater levels are changed across the nation, across the globe, because of climate change. There would be extreme rainfall at one stage where there was no rain at all, and there is no rain where there was extreme rain in the earlier days. Naturally, this must have changed the scenario as far as groundwater is concerned. And at state level, at the national level, we are much more sensitive about this particular aspect, groundwater aspect. So geologists may be interested in doing that particular study. A social science person, naturally, social science person would try to assess the impact of climate change on the society, a human being, and what kind of impact it has made. So you just keep on listing the areas, and you will find that there is some or other connection between that particular subject and climate change. So now, who should study the climate change? The simple answer is that people from all disciplines should come together, including the economists also, because there is adverse impact of climate change on economy as well. So they should come together and then try to elaborate on their respective domains, and then come to a common conclusion. So this is how the multidisciplinary aspect of any study is very much demanded, and this should be made aware of. Second thing is that I can see some of the, I think Dr. Shinde shared one very important thing, which I liked very much. Their research and development cell, in fact, the such cell has been established on the directions and instruction of University Grants Commission, and this college has established. It's a really good thing. But the research and development cell is now encouraging the UG students to get into this particular research areas. And see, he said that about 15 students are getting into this particular, in fact, area. But getting students into research at the UG level is very important. Unfortunately, what happens, we start talking about research after our post-graduation, and there is a mistake. That the research topic, the research culture should be inculcated at the UG level itself, so that they can have at least the way in which the issues can be addressed, the way in which the problem can be formulated, the way in which the methodology should be used. Those things will be more clear at the beginning itself. So therefore, I congratulate the college and the research and development cell for this kind of, in fact, initiative as far as inculcating the research at the UG level. The third point, which I also would like to talk on and just throw some light on that, again, I come back to the multidisciplinary. The second topic after climate change in this particular world is you start a discussion, the discussion ends with artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence is one of such areas where anyone in this particular universe who is just familiar with any gadget would start talking on this AI. People using that particular application, those who do not know what is AI, that kind of thing is also happening. But now, when you utter the word artificial intelligence, we immediately think that this is something to do with a computer science person. But suppose I am talking in English and there is someone who doesn't understand English. So there is an AI application which translates my English into the language the person is interested in, or person knows that particular language. So this particular application will take my word and statements together, and then will translate my speech into another language. And this is happening. Now, here is immediately the thing comes that whether computer scientist on his own can do it. I think my response to this kind of my question itself is that it is not possible to do it all alone by a computer scientist. Language person has to come in the contact of computer science person, and then corpus and vocabulary and all such kind of things should be discussed, should be prepared, database should be prepared, and then only it is possible to do this kind of activity. So can you imagine that a computer science can be attached to a language, and not only an English language, any language in this universe can be attached to this particular. So AI already has brought all the disciplines together. Secondly, you can see that you find applications in almost all areas. Application in the say prediction of rainfall, application in the prediction of the disease for the plants, and so on and so forth. You can just imagine that there are applications. Now people are thinking out doing each and everything, how best they can use AI and do this particular thing in a low cost as well as fast as possible. So AI has in fact invited all people on a common platform and share their knowledge so as to build an application which is useful for the society. Now, at the end of this particular thing, I would like to pass the message that if you come together and discuss any common topic, sometimes it is very difficult to understand each other language. I'm not saying a language as such, English as a language. Language of each discipline is different. Suppose by profession I'm a statistician, so my language would be a bit inclined towards the data and the terminology in my subject. But some or other day, the others should understand what I am saying. So this is what I mean, understanding a language of other discipline. The same is the case of the person who is doing economics. He starts talking about the GDP and all these things. The language of economics would start with economic terms. So that language should also be known to the other disciplines. So unless otherwise disciplined people come together and listen to each other, this understanding language of each discipline would not be possible. And this kind of conferences, I think, will promote not only coming together, but understanding each other and taking the research further. And therefore, multidisciplinary research in all the disciplines, it has got its own importance. And once again, I appreciate the initiative taken by Dr. M.K. Patil, Dr. N.P. Shinde, and all the entire team of the Padmabhushan Vasantraodada Mahavidyalaya for bringing the scholars from the entire nation on a common platform and discussing the various issues which are definitely relevant and as well as important for the social life and for the society as well. So my best wishes to all the participants, and I expect that at the beginning, as Dr. Shinde said, that I expect that every student, whether it is a UG student or PG student or diploma student, they should know the issue in and around where they live and try to formulate a problem related to that particular issue and try to address that issue scientifically. And if really they want to address the issue scientifically, they should be made aware of what is the research. And these kind of conferences will definitely convey them the way in which research can be done. And they will, in fact, there will be a lot of learning for these students also. And learning it doesn't have any boundary, so it can be a learning for the students and learning from the people from other disciplines as well. I'm sure that a lot of learning will take place in this particular virtual platform today. But my advice is that again, we should not behave like suppose I come from statistics, I will only search a person from statistics. No, at the beginning I may feel that that is what I understand. No, I should go and I deviate from my own discipline and try to understand what others are saying. So we should always try to look what others are saying, and that's how we can understand their language, their terms, and their philosophy, and of course their research. So I think this kind of thing can be promoted on such platform. My best wishes to all of you. Once again, congratulations to all of you for organizing this kind of conference and inviting me for a part of this particular conference, maybe the inaugural ceremony. I'm sure that at the end of the day, all the participant students will go with very different kind of knowledge from maximum possible disciplines. With this, I end my inaugural speech, and at the end, I declare that the conference is now inaugurated and it is open now. Thank you and have a great time. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir, for an inspiring start. Now, I would like to request Mr. Mahesh Kamble, sir, to give his vote of thanks for this session.
Thank you, madam, and good morning. I am audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you
Okay,
are.
okay. I like to thank first our inaugural program's chief guest, Professor D.T. Shirke, sir, Vice-Chancellor of Shivaji University, Kolhapur. Sir, thank you for your inaugural speech, and I like your punctuality. At exact 10 o'clock, you are joined this conference, means this link. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Again, I'd like to thank our principal, Dr. M.K. Patil, sir, for arranging or organizing this national conference. I also like to thank Mr. Bahasaheb Shinde, President Shikshan Prasad Sanstha, and Mr. Sudarshan Shinde, Secretary Shikshan Prasad Sanstha, for giving this infrastructure for this conference. And also I like to thank Mr. Nitish Shinde for introduction of chief guest and introduction of this national conference. And at last, I like to thank all the participants who joined for this national conference. Thank you. Thank you very much. Over to Pooja.
After an
Thank
awesome
you.
and
Please
inspiring
permit me
start,
to leave the platform because I have another meeting, and I had requested Principal Sir to relieve me at the earliest. Thank you and have a good luck. Thank you.
yes, sir, thank you.